Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another version of our freeform podcast. We're joined again by our friend Greg Goshorn, who has agreed to return because I seem to be the only person outside of his mother who could pronounce his name correctly. There will be a contest later to get Gary and Mike drunk and see if they can pronounce it. Of course, we've got Michael Larkin behind the controls like the Wizard of Oz and our good and great F&I wizard himself, Gary Silman. So, gentlemen, how did your week go? Am I the only one in the room that was at NADA? You weren't there, were you, Greg?
No, I wasn't, and thank you for having me back, man. You guys are awesome. I love what you got going on over here. Happy to join now and again.
Well, you know what? Life is short. We just want to have some fun and turn the volume up. Mr. Silman, what have you been cooking up, sir?
If it's virtual, I'm doing it. So I keep on trying to bring and execute ways to sell off of the cell phone. And there's some pretty cool stuff. And the future with the AI and all of the things that we're doing, it's going to be a great year. February is lining up to be a wonderful season to sell some cars. And we're ready to go. So I look forward to learning more from Greg on the AI capabilities, because between what Greg and Mike Larkin have been sharing with me, I mean, you're now an expert in marketing as long as you figure out how to use the AI. And so I'm learning. It's a sponge. And so I'll give you guys, it's Friday afternoon, and look forward to learning some stuff.
Mr. Larkin?
Yeah, big week. Every week we go by, it's education on the AI is lumped on top of lumped on top of lumped. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This has turned into the digital marketing industry has turned into advanced chess, where you used to have to guess at what your results are going to be. Now it's connect the dots, do the work, you'll get the results, and we're seeing it now. And I'm going to pass it over to my friend Greg, because he's got a different spin on especially for the car industry. I'm on the outside looking in to help out the car dealers. Most of the vendors I see and the vendor partners are on the inside making the improvements to the inside, and they're looking out the glass window. How do I attract those customers? So it's a different dynamic on where I'm approaching the business. Greg, take it away, man.
Excellent. Well, thank you. I, too, have got a pile on. It has been a good week, a good month. We got some exciting things here in the new year. This week we've helped some people. We've onboarded some people. We've, fill in the funnel, right? If we don't want to get too jargony. But we've had some wins. I'm an AI trainer. I'm an AI strategist. I'm an AI consultant, and we help everybody from in the 101 stage to getting going to particular deployments. And it really is the beauty that this can give you lift across the way. I talk about it for business and life. Like, there's great ways to use it personally. A lot of times when I'm on with focused teams like you guys, we're a little more nuanced in our approach, but I kind of go macro and micro, if you will, and we really love learning how people are putting it to work for them, right? And one of the things that I love about you guys is, and frankly, it's a sign of your future success deploying AI, is that you have a thought, you have a vision of what you want for an outcome. You are good communicators, you're trainers, you're good at using your communication skills to get what you want in the rest of your world, and that plays very well in working with the AI models.
Hey, Greg, Michael, when he introduced you, indicated that it's like playing chess now. And I remember a guy named
It's
Bobby
that's
Fischer.
I just interrupted Larry because I know you never interrupt me. But it's like connect the dots instead of advanced chess. It's
Okay.
dumbed down because of AI.
Still doesn't change my analogy. I'm a car salesman. I'm used to ignoring good thoughts. There, many moons ago, back in the 70s, there was a chess player from America named Bobby Fischer. And because of his popularity and how it hit into society, chess kits went from being expensive to very inexpensive. And I'm kind of curious to see what your take, Greg, is the fact that this program came out of China, their AI version, which, man, put a beating on the stock market. Our AI people lost billions. So what's your feel and what's your take on, obviously, anytime there's a product, you have 90 products that come out that are similar or the patent fades, what's your feeling with all the competition that'll come in from various areas? Because there's plenty of smart people that know how to program and write programs. So what are your thoughts?
Ooh, it's a lot to unpack there. And I tell you, this industry is fun, new, and different every week. And it's actually not slowing down. It's speeding up. And that's one of the things that I talk about as being a filter for people, right? To cut through the hype and cut through the jargon, distill it into some actionable things. And it was impossible to ignore this thing called DeepSeek that came out of China, ironically, in the 12 hours that TikTok was down. And it has really stirred up a little bit of a hornet's nest. And the crazy impactful thing was actually the stock market thing. People are talking about that probably more than the tech behind it, which I could go into the detail. But yeah, literally like a $400 million loss of market cap to NVIDIA. And of course, they scale their little things down, so the drop looks huge. It's still got, a huge value. But it is scary because of its source, right? Like getting rid of TikTok because nefarious possibilities.
Wait a minute,
right?
Greg. It might have been ironic, but it probably wasn't unintentional. We're agreement there, right?
It's pretty kind of straightforward and obvious. There's this crazy horse race going, right? So even with the American companies, that OpenAI will do something, and then Google will do something, and then Anthropic will do something, and Perplexity. So there is an interesting idea that these guys created something better, faster, cheaper. That's arguably better. That there are some security things. So they literally say in their fine print, which nobody reads, but the SII people call it out, like your data is swept up and it's stored on Chinese servers. Now that said, the techies in the world know that this platform is what we call open source. So you could take that code and run it on your own data privately, right? And there's some other models in contention, like Meta. Actually, Microsoft has an open source private model that you can run privately. So it really was a shakeup. It really hasn't filtered out, and it's amazing now that AI has basically got the attention of almost every dang person around, whether they're using it or not.
Yeah. Nobody knows, and it's everywhere.
And Gary and I are also working on our own sophisticated computer program, but sadly the squirrel fell off the conveyor belt. We lost our
It is fun, and we love that. We talk about, the availability just with the free stuff. You can basically use, free levels on all of these platforms. And there's good reasons to pay. And this is nothing. I mean, $20 to get a monthly subscription. Like, this is no place in the world to save $20. I was training yesterday. I've done over 100 workshops. We had one yesterday. And I still had people in the room. They're like, oh, I use it all the time, and I'm on the free version. I'm like, are you not getting the value? if you're getting that much, you could get lift because there's extra features,
Right.
the web search, there's the quality, the allotments of time. I mean, gosh
So,
dang.
Greg, they'll catch up with that. I grew up in a bad neighborhood, and the drug dealers, even though I didn't do drugs, I was friendly with them. They said the first taste is always free. Once we get you involved, we know we'll grab more, and that's what all these things are.
You are friendly with
It
everybody
is.
wanting to
It
sell
is.
a
And
car
there's
to them
there's
there.
tools out there. There's a bunch of them. There's even tools that can I call them like an aggregator.
Say,
Connecticut.
Larry, you're friendly with everybody because you want to sell them a car at that age.
Yeah. So to put
Car
a
dealers have done it for years, right? 000, no down payment, no payment for the first
You
month.
got to store your stuff somewhere.
Or let's defer your payment for
Buy
45 days.
buy now, pay later.
oh man, yes, that's what I thought. You guys always have a thought and a vision and a plan. I love it. I was just gonna say one last thing on that is that if you don't know which one to try, you could use like an aggregator and pay one, like say $20, right? They're almost all $20 across the board, and get to use all of them. Like I use this tool, Magi. So if you don't know which one to use and you want to get a taste of the paid levels, right? You could try something like that. But just the fact that you're in the game, right? Everybody should be using this, right? And I know that you guys have some ways that you use it, and you could, put it. I mean, there's so many ways in the car space that is some of this stuff is kind of industry agnostic, right? So you can help with lead generation and qualification side, right? You could help in the sales and customer service side. You can help in the, after sales service, which I'm sure is part of your model. You can help in the marketing and advertising, right? I mean, that you can get lift in any of these.
Greg, let me ask you a question. This one's right on the money right now. So the auto industry, they've controlled things their own way for many, many years. And it seems that the progress dealers are finding are utilizing all online, on digital, making videos, promoting their dealerships, getting dealers involved, getting their salespeople involved. What I see is wonderful. You see these dealers engaging with their people. So I'm looking for you to give some of the people some advice that are sitting watching this, because dealers are in this dilemma. And what they need to realize is that their people, their salespeople, is their best resource to get more sales. And to do that is by promoting their people on just who they are. You go into a Jeep dealer and you got a guy that goes out with his buddies on the weekends, and they've got the big wheels and they've got the lights. They've got a whole club. So we want to encourage the dealers that have Jeeps to make their guys celebrities. Then you have your Honda stores where you have a single mom that is raising her daughter or son. And so this is where we want to continue to empower the salespeople, the young men, the old men, the young women, the married, to build your own brand, because customers want to see you. They want to buy from a human being. So I would love for some advice for you to share with everybody who's watching this is that's the win. The dealer wins, the salespeople win, the consumer wins when you have a great system. So share with me how they can use some of this stuff to, and you've already gave a few examples, but talk to the salespeople on how to get going.
Sure. Many of these people are the people that are embracing it, right? I mean, I say that just because in general, a lot of salespeople are
They're on TikTok. They're doing
Yeah,
all their stuff.
it's their job to be out in front. This story, I really love it. It harkens me back into kind of like real estate, right? And so I helped a lot of people in real estate over the years, and it was the same thing. There was actually there was a guy in Arizona, and he branded himself, right? And he ended up moving from agency to agency, whatever brokerage, right? But he was his brand. He had his own following. And I think that's really true for these salespeople. And so building essentially your personal brand makes you valuable wherever
Yes.
you work.
Yep.
It's really neat. And I love your point because we talk about this often so if we're sort of on like maybe on the marketing and advertising side, right? Which is a broad thing, including making these videos, but it can really help you target specific customer segments, with personalized ads across these digital channels, right? And can kind of like increase your ad effectiveness, maybe ROI, but it's hard to necessarily measure the ROI of a personal brand. But surely when you get resonance with what you're putting out to your target market, right? So you're out shooting a video on a rock crawl, to reach those guys. They can see themselves in the product, I think that's a big, big way to do it. And so you can have AI help you with script ideas, a content calendar, all of these things that can kind of level up somebody who's already maybe in the game, like making some videos or doing some posting.
And Greg, it's not even that hard to measure your ROI because it's very simple. The exposure is going to make you money. The better known you are, the more people in the car business, talent's great, but it's really a matter of how many people you talk to. If you're incredibly charismatic, if you're a fabulous salesperson, and you talk to 3 people a month, what are you going to do? Sell 2 out of the 3, 3 out of the 3? If your talents are marginal, but you're hungry, and you get 10, 20, 30 people into a dealership, whether you can close the deal or not, somebody's going to close it. You're going to get the credit. So anything that makes it easier for you to get exposure makes sense. Listen, think of the phones. I think the phones have made us a little dumber as a society and a little worse at communicating. But if years ago you wanted to get some exposure, you had to haul a TV crew in and get makeup on and blow half a day. Today, you hold the phone up to your face and say, look at this car we traded. Boom. You're all over social media.
It is. It's right at your fingertips, and it's very dynamic today.
Yeah, and you'll see that some of those will be some of the suggestions in AI, like what kind of video should I make? Like feature the car that you sell, be on site to your target audience, do something that's behind the scenes, right? It's like some of the things like maybe these guys are doing, they could brainstorm with AI. One of the good features of like, say, getting like a paid chat GPT is you literally don't
You type it in.
You don't even have to type. You just talk to the thing and press the little, just like in our boxes up the top, that little waveform. There's voice mode in ChatGPT, for example, which is the biggest one we talk about, has 180 million users. If anybody's using anything, that's what they're using. So we talk about it a lot. And so how great is, I just did one today. I was on the walk. I'm like, I have an idea. Let's talk through it. Have it bounce off some, brainstorm some ideas. So we could just say like, the car dealers waiting. And he's like, what am I going to do for my February
marketing?
Hey, AI. Oh, hi. Give me some ideas for marketing, my lifted trucks, to an X region for the next month. Give me 8 video ideas. So maybe you're going to drop 2 a week.
Greg, I just saw the Bob Dylan bio, which was really, really good. And I'm a musician. I mean, they nailed it. And he's got obviously a line in one of his greatest songs, You better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone because the times they are changing. This is a long time to not pay attention to what's going on because this thing's just going to accelerate and accelerate and accelerate. And man, you want to be ahead of the curve or at least hanging on for dear life, not waiting to see if it catches on. It's here.
Oh, I'm going to steal that, borrow that, model that, Larry.
We'll get that. He'll get that in a quote. That's a good one.
It's such a good hook, right? I'm a musician too and a Dylan fan, but that's a recognizable kind of thing because we're doing things like, it's not too late, to get in the game, right? Because the people who are going to maybe have an advantage on you.
Well, here's
the interesting thing about Dylan was he was a major, major influence on the whole world, but particularly the Beatles. If you listen to John Lennon's Hide Your Love Away, it's him emulating Bob Dylan. But in the meantime, Dylan looked at them and thought, man, these guys sell more records than me. They're more popular than me. Next thing you know, he's playing an electric guitar and antagonizing the whole folk world. But look what that led to. Look what the Beatles led to by going from being a boy band to being the band that did Eleanor Rigby and Sgt. Pepper. So the analogy is clear with everything. When we look past what's possible, if you were sitting with Elon Musk in a bar a couple decades ago and said, you know what, I think I'm going to come up with this electric car and give everybody else competition. Yeah, sure you will. Yeah. Obviously, you haven't heard about all the other companies that, we're old enough to remember AMC and all the other failed companies that came through. If you're not willing to look ahead, you don't stay where you are, you go backwards. So with this kind of technology, whether you love it or you hate it, you have to embrace it and you have to try to use it to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Wonderfully said. I've been a car guy my whole life, just trying to sell things. And in the last few years of learning digital marketing, once you get it and you have that brain, it's very funny. So I'm marketing this new product called Gather, which is a little chipmunk. And all the chipmunk does is verifies the identity, verifies the auto insurance, and transfers the auto insurance. So he's Gus. So now everything in my marketing is Gus the Gatherer. So now I've got my own marketing all set up for February because I got Pauxatawny Phil is going to come out and see if his shadow comes. So Phil is getting warned by Gus. What's Gus warning him? Is that customers are getting their identity stolen. So Gus is warning everybody, and then now Gus is going to let the presidents know that the big president sales coming up in Washington and Lincoln need to figure out how to protect their customers from identity theft. And so Gather has a tool that verifies. How easy is that now in the auto industry to get out the verification of the identity and the verification of what kind of insurance the consumer has? Do they have insurance? Do they have partial coverage? Are they even a real person? Is it fraud? So now I go into my Gemini Google after I talk to Mike and I say, make me, I don't know how to figure out how to make English on some of their wording, but I've made cell phones in somebody's hands on showrooms saying that you can do the whole transaction. So that's in my brain that I'm trying to articulate to everybody. And now I can make images and I can articulate it just by using AI. So with that is unbelievable.
Greg, you better enjoy your time on this show. I think the next show is going to be Gary Silman with 3 groundhogs.
I love his
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Perfect.
I am not kidding.
Alvin and Larry and the Chipmunks. Larry and the
This is exactly what I said in the beginning. Is you just put the perfect example teed up there, Larry, Gary. You had a thought, you had a vision, you had a starting point and an end point, and you went and you grabbed a tool, and even a different tool. Yeah, the Gemini World from Google, huge, good stuff over there.
Yeah, and that was just basically me watching Mike Larkin doing all of his keyword searches. So he would get me on and we would brainstorm. I refer to Mike as the Wright brother, and I'm Orville, or he's Wilbur, and we've been testing and we've been doing this for a long time. And so I'm the crash test dummy that went out and, crashed all the time. But Mike would rework the engines and all the planes, and then we're getting liftoff now.
I thought I was the crash test dummy.
Oh, you guys are so awesome. And this is the point again.
Let's leave your personality out of this, Larkin.
Bring AI with you every day.
Yeah.
It's your coworker. It's your assistant, right? And so, again, you guys have a thought, you have a vision, you have communication skills, and you're bringing AI along, not to replace you, but to give you some lift, right?
Harness is the word.
Harnessing the power of AI for business and life. One of my taglines.
Every conversation I have with Michael, I get a little condensation of this is what we spoke to. It breaks it down. And the reason that that's so valuable is everybody has a poor concentration time period these days, right? Very short. And people get tired of reading long, this is what we said. So if we can break it down and make it more simplistic and boil it down correctly, that's a pretty valuable tool. I know a lot of dealers and GMs that are really tired of reading long reports.
Oh, but another perfect way, analytics, data analytics at that high end. Meeting analytics, there's AIs that can follow you along in a meeting and a read and Otter. I'm a Fathom guy. Or I helped somebody in a workshop yesterday. They actually have these things called in-person meetings, which I don't do a lot of. I'm a keyboard warrior, laptop lifestyle guy, but I do love them. And so you could even take, something if you recorded an in-person meeting and then go back to AI and have it distill it down. So you
you dump it into
you get those important talking points, right?
Yeah, the readmes and all of these follow-ups from these are very valuable, and AI just condenses them into giving you the bullets of what came out. I find those very helpful now.
We have that for a tool in the sales with AI, right? AI in sales is having those conversations and having that what's important to the customer? What are their objections? Give me 3 ways to handle their objection, right? I mean, for some people I know that, here's a trainer, he helps you, right? But AI can be an assistant in there, right? Along with the strategic levels. This is a neat little tactical way, right? To get a little lift.
There's a company out there called Auto Trainer. And what it is, it's an AI platform that listens to the F&I transaction, and it pulls out, did the F&I manager disclose the manufacturer's warranty? Did the F&I manager give a base payment? So it's really now gives the dealer x-ray vision of whether their F&I manager is disclosing things and doing it correctly.
And for legit compliance reasons.
Yeah, for serious, for FTC safeguards and red flags, and this is major stuff. Those are now the gatekeepers, because they know what the FTC laws are, and they don't, and they educate on, no, you can't do that. That is not a legal method of what you're doing. Oh, boy. And so it really is gonna be everywhere inside the transactions of selling cars. And the more that we get people to realize that it's going to take those things that nobody wanted to do, which in the auto industry, no one wants to do compliance. It was don't bring in AI, but just set it up that AI touches every customer that comes through, and then you don't have to do it. They do it for you, but they haven't gotten to that point where hopefully shows like this, they'll listen and see that we're not selling voodoo, and they work. It connects the dots. So this is great. I could talk with you guys all day.
Indeed. This topic is endless, and we love bringing it to people with subject matter experts like yourself, right? and I hate to say this to repeat myself, but it's one of the greatest things with, some of the people that don't get the value of AI, either have not given it enough of a try,
Sure.
or have not, in trying duration, like they tried it enough times, they like tried it once, it didn't work, I got to do it once.
Greg, I had a guy, and I explained, I was recommended to him, and he was a cynic, and he said, we had a trainer in once, it didn't work, it didn't stick. I said, well, that's like saying you went on a date and it wasn't a good date, so you stopped dating. If something makes sense, everything needs time to gestate and come together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you see that, Mike? I used gestate and a Bob Dylan analogy in the same thing. And Gary got in the groundhog. This is becoming pretty.
Oh, man, we're punching some boxes today, guys.
All right. Well, this is cool.
I think we've made some pretty nice inroads today. Michael, Gary, Greg, any final thoughts? We like to keep it short and sweet and let them not be bored and want to tune in for us again. Any thoughts, anybody?
Greg, I got a question for you, and I'm going to put you on the hot seat. If you were an owner of I almost said rooftop. Larry and Gary know what I'm talking about. But
Dealership.
A dealership. Okay, you were the owner of a dealership, right? You're the head guy. Okay, you can do anything you want. What is the first AI you would focus on to build or grow your business?
That's a tough one. One thing, I personally am in love for a single thing is to do like a chatbot or a virtual assistant. They've been around for a while, and some of them weren't even like AI. They were just like logic trees, right?
Yeah.
We're a truck or a car. Well, next question. Now they have very sophisticated ones, and we deploy these, right? And so it's basically it's not as sophisticated as a real salesman, and you have to have some opt out to get to a real person, right? It's not there to frustrate your visitor or your buyer, okay? So you have to have some oversight. But they can engage visitors 24/7. They can answer questions. And again, all of it is like garbage in, garbage out. So they take a little time to build, meaning so that they're answering not from the cloud. They're not hallucinating. Your dealership info is the first source of knowledge, and really almost like the own source of knowledge, right? So people can answer questions. I mean, you could go into, scheduling test drives, right? Or you could go into, if you get into Gary's world, like start them down the path of like some pre-qualification, right? And so what it can do is ensure prompt responses and capture valuable lead information even outside of business hours, right? So we're talking about tech, we're talking about the phones, right? And so that would probably be the easiest low-hanging fruit.
To level up on that too, internally, the F&I people, the tech people, the fixed ops, the sales people, the managers, the general managers, all are on the same page, because if they got a question on whether they're violating a mission, vision, value, you've got that right there. Hey, can I do this, or can I say this to a customer? No, it's against the law.
That is perfect, because that's actually one of our other deliverables is an AI in HR.
Yep.
And so I can see really I learn something all the time, man, every day. And especially I like this use case, right? Because you guys not only have best practices, but like fiduciary responsibility
and
real like federal requirements.
Yeah, no, that's where the compliance is going to win, is because the dealers have to do it, and now AI can do it. Now they just need to pick the right tools and man it, and have management manage it, and that's what we've been trying to accomplish for the last 40 some odd years.
Oh boy. Well, Larry, like you said, this could go on forever.
Yep.
I gave my one hot seat answer.
That was awesome.
I can already see like 5 more sessions here.
Yeah.
Guys, if anybody's listening and they have any questions, because we're going to do another one of these free forms shortly, let us know. Certainly anything that's tech-oriented, we can get Greg or Michael to answer. If it's anything with F&I, you're not going to find anybody sharper than Gary. If it's recruiting or sales training, here I am. And if we're all beleaguered with the answer, we can turn to Gus. I'm sure Gus can come up with some good answers, Gary.
All right. Hey, everybody have a wonderful weekend. Great stuff. Next week, we'll even get more accomplished. So we're all cruising on a nice pathway, and I appreciate everybody's time. And let's sell some cars in February. There are plenty of good things going on.
Everybody stay healthy and be productive.